Good morning, Ellie. Time to get off the couch. We got a big day today. Come on, honey. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's get up. Let's get going. You ever wonder what farm life is like in northern Alberta? I'm Jessica, meet my husband Thomas, and our dog Ellie, and we'll take you through a day in our lives. Let's go! Good morning! So today's going to be one of those crazy days where we're getting ready for winter coming up. Falls around here look like the boys are harvesting most of the time, drying grain the other part of the time, ripping around in vehicles, trying to fix fences, trying to get everything set, and we're at home digging up our garden, and we have plants that need to be planted before the snow hits. And our tomatoes are to the point where we need to make salsa today too, because they're getting pretty squishy. So, try to keep up today. It's going to be a busy one. So I have to admit, this year, been a little bit disappointed with my carrots. I planted a brand that's supposed to be a little bit smaller around but a longer carrot, which I find so much easier for pickling carrots, and they tend not to get woody and like crack open and stuff. I guess maybe just this brand didn't work well with my gardening, up with like real thick tops and real short fat roots to them, which not really impressed with. Have all these guys dug up, we're just going to leave them sit outside here for the day, let them cure, let the dirt dry, and then they'll be so much easier to clean up later. Let's move on to the beets. So this year my beet patch, I planted 3 different kinds of beets. Do you think I can remember off by hand? Absolutely not. I definitely have to look those up. But what I wanted to do is trial and see which ones grew best in our soil, which ones produced, and which beet tops we like better for eating, and which ones are nicer for canning and dealing with, whichever ones stayed the pinkest in the cans, you know, all those sort of things that I don't know if they actually make a difference, but to me it's a fun experiment to try. So this is my beet patch. Now if we pull out one of our beets, I don't know, what do you say about a beet? It's red. Although I will tell you one thing, these disgusting creatures, I don't even know if that's clear. Let's see if I can make it clear. There, disgusting slugs on everything this year. We don't usually get this much moisture, and it is revolting. They are coming out of the woodworks. But what I have learned is that, number one, if you put down wood mulching, slugs just love your wood mulching. And number 2, we live in the middle of the forest, which I didn't even think of because I didn't grow up here. I grew up down south in the prairie, where slugs you might see around the lakes, and that's it. But I'll tell you one thing, they love the forest. I never thought of that dampness, that moss, all of that undergrowth. They just, they gross me out so bad. So anyway, I gotta figure out how to deal with those guys next year without poisoning everything, because I still want to keep the bees. Anyway, that's my detour on beets. So let's get these beets dug up. Next to slugs, I have this second absolutely maddening problem, and that would be whatever is eating my beets. We don't have gophers here, a mole maybe? I didn't think we had moles here, but check these things out. What is the point of that beet? Look at the size of the base of this beet, and that's all I have. That's it. Alright, so this, when I pull up my beets, this is what I see. All these little hole tunnels like this. Does that mean I have mice in my garden? Oh, see? Here we go. More of those disgusting slugs everywhere. There's another one. There's another one. Look at this. Slug eggs. They're getting ready for next year already. Suckers. Oh, and there's another slug over there. There's billions of them. They destroyed my dill too. Man, I might need a team effort here to get rid of these things. Look at that. Holes in my garden. I am pretty sure that's a mouse. Oh, that makes me mad. Actually, it looks kind of big for a mouse, doesn't it? I'm going to have to do some research, see what's up here. Look at that. Hole. Hole in my garden. I bet you if I pull up this beet, sure enough, check that out. Whole bottom side of the beet eaten right off. Isn't that lovely? Maybe I won't be doing as much canning this year as I thought. Okay, I found the tag for this particular beet patch, and it's Detroit beet, so a pretty standard brand of beet. Grows a pretty round but slightly longer beet, but typically pretty prolific. But maybe it's just extra sweet and the mice are just digging it. Let's see what the other kinds look like. So I just pulled up this beet out of the patch number 2. It's a lot more of a longer conical beet, which I guess you would make more use of your soil space if you're growing a longer beet, but a lot less damage on it. So maybe that means they just grow better here. I don't know. So that batch is literally called cylindrical. The beets I said were more cylindrical, they are literally called cylindrical. So far, only 2 of them have any bite marks in them and very few slugs. So I guess over Detroit, that's going to be my pick for next year. Let's see what beet patch 3 has. So my last patch that I just dug up is called Merlin, so super cute. There's a tiny little round beet. Considering they've been in there all summer, I thought they'd be a bit bigger, but what they taste like later. But so far, I think I'm going to use this moment to remind myself that cylindrical are the kind we're going to be planting next year. Save us a little bit of the grief from the bugs and the rodents, I guess. Whew. Now that we have all of the carrots dug and all of the beets dug, we're going to let them sit for a day, let them dry out, makes it nice and easy to clean, and we're going to head out to the main farm where the horses are, and I also have plants that I need to plant that I bought on end of season sale. So we're going to take off out there and get those things in the ground and come back and do some canning. Alright, so here's the deal with all of my plants. Now, Thomas and I are looking at building a yard site in the next few years, and a part of that when you live on the farm and having a yard site is having a lot of space that needs to be filled with plants. And I use the word needs pretty loosely, but needs becomes really big. And a part of that means that your budget also becomes really big. And I try to keep things a little bit lower in that area because I like to spend money in other places. Like maybe building a barn if I can convince you. That's besides the point though. So what I do is at the end of the year, my mom, who is my lovely enabler because she tells me when all the plant sales are, I buy plants that are on my list of things that will grow well that I want to use in my yard site in a couple of years. And I buy these plants and I bring them home and I put them in my mother-in-law's garden because she just has a huge patch that used to be the hockey arena that is just perennials now. So I plant my shrubs and my perennials in rows in her garden, and then when I'm ready to use them years down the road, I just go and I dig them up and I have a lot bigger of a plant, a lot more established of a plant. So instead of pulling home a little 6-inch pot from the store, I am moving a whole lily base. So I don't know, I also like moving plants and redecorating gardens and moving things around, so I enjoy that aspect of gardening. But some of you will also be like, what? You plant stuff in your mother-in-law's garden to move it and you just have all these plants? I kid you not, this used to be an outdoor hockey rink sized garden. It's huge, and it's one of multiple gardens. If you ever think you have a big garden, the square footage, think of it this way, the square footage of her garden is the size of my entire town lot that we have in the hamlet. If that puts any perspective to how big this garden is. You'll see, there's a whole row of shrubs and it looks like a regular garden. Yeah. Garden is a very different word on a farm. Very different use of that word. Let's check it out. We're here. Go on, Ellie. Go play with your friends. Hello, Kira. Oh, hello, girl. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, sweetheart. Oh, hello, Fluffy. Hello. How's the welcoming committee today? Oh, belly rubs is where it's at. Belly rubs is where it's at. Is the whole welcoming committee coming? Hello, Duke. Hello, Sarge. It's good to see your foot healing up all well, huh? I see everybody's here today. Everybody's here today. Ellie, you're happy all your friends are here now? Are you happy? I kid you not how big this garden is. You gotta check it out. So here is one of the what we call gardens. This is how big this thing is. There's our full-size tractor in comparison. It's the same footage as my lot in town. Isn't that crazy? These couple rows right here, I think there's close to 100 perennials / shrubs in it. And that's how much space we still have. It barely takes up even a portion of the garden. And that's only one of the gardens. We still have more gardens back there yet. Oh yeah, gardens for days. Let's get all these guys in the ground and watered up for winter. Okay, I have got all of the plants behind me now in the ground, and that took me twice as long as I thought, because I'm pretty sure there's twice as many plants as I thought. So now I'm going to clean up all these pots I have laying around, string out the garden hose, and get these things watered. Man, if anybody needs some old used pots, I have 100% hit the jackpot. This is 1/4 maybe of all the old pots that I have, and that's just from today's haul. Well, I was right. There's 112 plants here, not 80. So that would explain why it's taken me another 2 hours longer than I thought it would. But on the plus side, everything's in now. It just needs a little bit of water. The water on and the soaker hose on. We'll let these shrubs get some much needed water. I'll let this run for the rest of the evening. And then they should be good to go for the winter. Whew, feels good to have that project done. Just like clockwork, they head back to the river for the day. Well, we're done pulling our grain off, but the boys are headed out with combines, so it's a pretty good guess that they're going to help somebody. Probably my guess would be the experimental farm. Yeah, my guess is experimental farm. So we'll stop by there when we're done planting our plants and check out what they're up to. This is MERA, the Applied Research Association that's up here. And they need their complete own video of what they do. They're quite a blessing to our region. So as the Simpson family and our surrounding friends, we are involved in making sure that this place stays running. And part of that means putting in and taking out the major crops. So this is actually where the boys have been all day. Well, we've been working in the garden and trying to get that cleaned up and good to go and canning. This is the Mackenzie Applied Research Association. We call it MERA. Some people pronounce it Mara, but everybody I know pronounces it MERA. And the Research Association is a, I think it's mostly agriculture. A lot of crop science, because that's kind of the biggest thing up here. They do pull in people that do cattle, like feeding cattle seminars, that sort of stuff. But a big part of what they do and why we're involved is they do a lot of crop trials. So they try different varieties of crop, different varieties of spray, and all the farmers contribute to the seeding of the crops. So not the trial crops. The trial crops are a whole separate thing that maybe I'll see if the staff will do a video or if I can find some stuff on them. But all of the other crops, and as far as I know, all the inputs from the farmers are donated, and the whatever's made from the farm is actually used towards the profit of the research association. So that's pretty cool. So everybody out here today, I think there's Simpsons out here, there's some Newmans out here, there are probably Friesens out here. Usually Bazes are out here, but I think Bill's across the river trying to get all of his crop off. So this is everybody. I know there's other families out here, and there's lots more families involved. I wasn't out here all day, so I'm not exactly sure who's all out here right now, but a whole community pulling together to get the rest of this crop off. It's pretty cool when you get all these combines out here. I think one year we had 7 combines on this field. They sure make short order of things. Last, I believe, that they're trying to get done this year, and it's canola, and they're straight cutting it, so that's kind of different. We swath everything, so. Day is getting really carried away on us here. I spent way too much time at the farm, and I stopped at Mara and spent way too much time there. So now it is pitch black out, and we're gonna go pick up all of the beets that we dug up earlier before the tops freeze. All right, there's our first basket of beets, tops included. I think we'll just do one with tops. Tops make great soups and additives and like that sort of thing. So I just fill a laundry basket like that full, and I carry it in the house, and you'll see my house is a mess, and I walk with my shoes in it. So that's cool. Makes doing things like this easier. And then at the end of the season, we just clean the whole thing. All right, Ellie, let's go inside. Let's go inside and get these beets dealt with. Welcome to my teeny tiny little farm kitchen. So my little tiny kitchen consists of exactly what you see, except the dry rack that's on the other side of the sink and the fridge that's on the other side of the stove. And that is it. This is what we have to work. So we have beets to preserve, we have carrots to preserve, and we are going to make salsa with all of the copious amounts of tomatoes that have now ripened in the last week. This year, I'm not even going to blanch my beet tops. I know a few ladies that just straight shred and freeze their beet tops, so we're going to try it this year and see if the flavor is that different. Because if it's not, there's a wonderful step that we can skip because we don't have time on the farm to be doing all those extra steps. Let's run through that, and we'll move on to carrots or salsa. Haven't decided which one's next. All right. So we're done doing all the beets now. This is a crazy amount of beets. It is quite heavy. I don't even have a scale in my house to try weigh it. I was going to try weigh it, but now my hands look like this, which is super cool. Classic farm girl hands, right? They're all chapped and raw, and now the edges are all stained from beet greens and beet bottoms because even my cutting board, my poor cutting board is all stained, so that'll take a good bit to get out. Anyway, so what we have here, I did shredded beets, so here they are, all shredded for the freezer. I did some whole raw beets, so we'll see how those freeze and then how they cook. I know a few people that do that, so why not try? And then a different variety of beet as well, see which beet freezes better. I did packages of cubed beets like this, so these are also raw. They're great for adding to your squashes and baked veggies, that sort of thing. And then we did beet greens, which I think are so pretty in their packages. I don't know what we're gonna move on to. Maybe carrots. It's a nice quick shred and be done, and then we'll start our salsa. All right, I am tired, and it is 11:50, so we got a few things left to do yet. See you in a minute.
Welcome to farm life, where 99% of the time it just feels like I'm finding faster ways to do everyday activities. So this is going to make many of you, including my father, who is going to be watching, cringe. I'm going to put the carrots in the washing machine because why would I scrub this entire basket of carrots when the machine's going to do it for me? I mean, why not? I washed all my husband's dirty clothes in here, and I'm pretty sure his coveralls are dirtier than those carrots. Alright, so, for the record, I set it to, what's this? Extra heavy, super duty, heavy duty super for the soil load, because, let's be honest, they're pretty soiled. And cold water, and set it to mostly full. So not totally full, but like halfway. And now we will close this. I mean, so far that sounds normal. I wish that we could open the door and actually watch it agitate carrots, but when I open it really quickly, you can see them before they settle. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. It's spinning. Okay, I am impressed. These carrots are incredibly clean. This is awesome. I don't have to scrub any carrots. I'm just going to wipe out my machine. All right, meet you in the kitchen. So now I use freezer zip bags, and I put 3 cups in each bag because that's about the size of the recipes I like to use for muffins and cakes. So now we got 13, I think I got 13 bags of carrots, which I think that'll be enough for us for a winter. That gives me a few carrot cakes and a few batches of muffins. So I think we'll stop there and turn the rest of this into a carrot ginger soup mix. I think that'll be a good addition to the freezer. So off to the freezer. Woo-wee! To say that we have a lot of tomatoes to turn into salsa might be a little bit of an understatement. Not only do we have these 5 tiers, we also have, under the couch, 4 more flats of tomatoes. And there's another one back there. All for turning into salsa. So, let's get started on that now, because that's going to take us a little bit. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of work. Anyway, salsa, it's going pretty good, I think. This is our last batch we're gonna do tonight. We got 2 minutes left on the timer. It's 1:50 in the morning. We're just gonna let this batch finish up and set it out for the night to cool. Ellie's been pacing around here. Hey Ellie, come here. She's been pacing around here. That's how I know it's time to go to bed. She paces between me and her bed. Yeah, there she goes again. So, yeah, just gonna finish up in the kitchen here. It's nice and clean, and I'm gonna go to bed. This has been an incredibly long day. I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good sleep. I know I am. Ellie, say goodnight. Ellie, I love you. I love you. Good night from The Simpsons.